So I guess, like, how do you sort of go, ah, we're not trying to scare anybody. So I'm going to tell a quick story about one of my first experiences working with real estate in the Hammer, aka Hamilton. So there's all kinds, like anywhere in the world, there's all kinds of scary product that you can buy in Hamilton, same as Toronto or all kinds of points in between. And what I found when I go into these properties is I expect the worst. I walk into a property that needs to be completely gutted and renovated. I go into the basement and I can tell that there's been water damage. That's not scary to me because I know to expect it. Now, one of the things, whenever I'm working with people, I tell them, listen, let's not rely on my my craftiness to be able to figure out what's going on here. I'm a real estate agent. I'm not an inspector. And so I always tell my clients, better to be safe than sorry. Get a home inspection and let's find out what's going on in this property so that you can go in with your eyes wide open instead of being surprised, which, there's no such thing as a good surprise in real estate. If there is, please do send a comment down below because I'd be interested to hear about your good surprises in real estate. So we're going to cut to a couple of pictures here of my first experience of buying real estate in Hamilton. And I knew going into it, we weren't exactly getting an orange here. This was a lemon. And we were going to have to really make lemonade out of this particular property. So let's cut to that now and see what I got myself into.
Okay, so here we are. Me and my boy, we're checking out our new house that we just bought. And in particular, I wanted to pay some attention to this corner of the kitchen that actually presented the most problems for me in this particular house. Something I had no idea I was in for. You can see up in the right-hand corner that little white spot, that little slice, that's the light coming in. And for years, water had been pouring down between the home and the drywall. I started to just pull away at it. I used my hands and I actually got right through to aluminum siding. That's what you're seeing there. So my remedy was to cut all of the dead material away and put this new wall in place. I found a bunch of the floor and ceiling joists were rotten as well. So I had to replace those and sister in some new ones. You can see here, I've pulled everything out. I built the new wall and it's ready for insulation and vapor barrier. I also at this point realized that I had to replace the floor. So I pulled everything out just before I did the drywall. So the kitchen started to take shape here. I got the cabinetry in, got the new floor laid, and I'm starting to work on some of the electronic or the electrical that needed to be done. I brought somebody in for that. Now the kitchen is, I've got my pieces in place. I've got my granite countertop, under-mounted sink, the stove perfectly fit in place, and the light fixtures are in. Places starting to look pretty good. So here's the finished product. I just had one door that I had to replace at IKEA. Otherwise, kitchen was done. And there were a few creative things that I got to do in there. So the second big project that I had was this bathroom. What a nightmare this ended up being for me. I had water leaking all over the place. So I ripped out the floor and found that was all rotten. I had to redo it. And take a look. You can see where they cut the floor joists out to run the old plumbing. So I had to sister in even more floor joists to make sure that the structure was good in the home. Then I put down some cement board to make sure that it stays nice and dry underneath there in case somebody spills more water. And I started my tiling job. Half wall and the floor. I apologize. I don't have any finished product of this because we rented the place out so quickly. I never thought of actually taking any pictures of the bathroom. But that was the project in a nutshell. Those were the two big pieces.
Okay, so we went to Hamilton. We found that first property. It was for sale. Then we bought it. And it was sold. Bought it. Next, we had to put it up for lease. We had to put it up for lease. This is kind of where the real sort of fun part of the game came in, was finding the right tenants. Once we had the space, all ready to go. This is the part where all of your work can really go sideways. And this like beautiful home that you just spent all this time and energy making perfect can turn back into a complete lemon again. I don't know, hire to or rent the place out to a bunch of kids that want to use your place as a grow-op, which was one of my favorites. I was upstairs, I was doing an open house at this property, looking for that right tenant. I'm upstairs while they're doing a tour around, and they're down in the basement, and I overhear these three kids talking, I mean, they were like 20, 21, about how perfect this basement would be for their plants. At which point I was like, guys, honestly, I'm right here. I can hear what you're saying. There was a little bit of like, and they went away. But right after that, I actually met the daughter of the people that ended up renting the place. She had come to sort of prospect it out for them. We got it rented up, and they've been in there ever since. Actually, I wish I had some pictures that I could show you of what the place looks like now, because it's better than when I rented it to them. They've actually done a ton of landscaping. They tell me every single time something's wrong with the property, I'm able to get in there and fix it. So thanks so much to Bruce and Lally for renting the place out and taking such great care of it. But it wasn't by accident. It was by design, like everything that I did with that house and every other house that I've done in the Hammer. Not by accident, but by design. That starts with getting the right real estate agent, having the right plan to go from A to Z all the way through to having a great product that you can either flip, sell, or rent. If you'd like to know some more about doing this in Toronto or Hamilton or anywhere else, let me know. I'll be happy to help you if you're here in Toronto. Or if you want to go to Hamilton, Kingston, Kitchener, you name it, we've got some great real estate agents that we can refer you to so you can get the job done right with a great professional.